Hey, welcome back to Real Takes, where we are all movie love all the time. I'm Stott, and tonight we are shining a ton of movie love on Middle of Nowhere, a 2012 film written and directed by Ava Duvernay, starring Emmayatzy Corinealdi, David Oyelowo, Omari, Hardwick, and the always sublime Lorraine Toussaint. Middle of Nowhere is a quiet, independent indie drama. And I like lots of different kinds of films, and I like films that come on strong and sort of take you on their own wave and drop you on a new shore at the end. But I also really like a quiet, intimate film that pulls something out of me. And I find by the end of the good ones, and this is one of the really good ones, that there's a cumulative effect to them that's maybe more subtle than the bigger films, but sometimes more powerful. And I particularly like quiet, independent indie dramas by righteous Black women filmmakers who are telling stories that we haven't seen like this very often. And that is what this is. So Ava Duvernay, in a variety of different interviews, has said that Middle of Nowhere is a love story. She has said that it is a story about loss and how we change in the wake of big losses in our lives. She's also said it's a story about waiting and what is revealed about ourselves when we're in liminal spaces. We're not in the past anymore, but we haven't quite reached whatever the next thing is. And I feel that the film works on those levels, but for me, there's another layer, which is I feel like the film is about how we're forced to change, or what happens when we are forced to see a situation or a person or something in our life for what it really is, rather than what we want it to be or what we're trying to make it be. But I think the reason the film can kind of move in and out of all these different layers so beautifully and touch on all these different themes is that it's firmly rooted in one story, and that's the story of Ruby, a Black woman who has put her own goals and dreams on hold to stay connected to and be supportive of her husband, who is serving up to 8 years in prison. Now, we've all seen the major studio Hollywood version of this story in one setting or another, right? Where the white lawyer is a main character working tirelessly, fearlessly for no pay because they're so moved by the injustice of the situation and they won't rest until wrong has been righted. And Ruby works at the cash register of a gas station on a corner in Compton that's riddled by gang violence. And at the end of the movie, everything turns out all right, and the white people can leave the theater patting themselves on the back for having gone to the movie and relieved that racism has been overcome. Yeah, so just a side note, Hollywood, I think we're done with those stories. In fact, I think we were maybe done with them before they started, but we're definitely done with them now. But because Ava DuVernay made this movie, and she's interested in telling Ruby's story rather than exploiting the idea of this story to serve a racist, outdated model of what a commercially viable movie about Black life in America has to be, we get a very different movie. And I'm really grateful that we do. Ava DuVernay has said that she interviewed 100 women who have partners, have or had partners who are in prison while writing this film. And I'm sure there are many variations on this story that we haven't seen, but, it's clear the depth of her work and her commitment to this story, because really what we do is we follow Ruby through her days as she is navigating the choices she's forced to make, and also the effects of the choices she's made on every relationship in her life. And here I want to talk some about the cinematography, because Ava Duvernay and the cinematographer Bradford Young created such a specific world here that's both spare and real, but also brings us into Ruby's internal world in this respectful, loving way that I feel is very unusual in cinema. I feel like there are just some really specific techniques that were used to show us what Ruby's yearning for, what's haunting Ruby, what she wants, what she can't let go of. And also, there are moments in the film where time overlaps or is folded on itself. And, you know, so often in movies when like a really specific device is used, like overlapping time, it can feel a little like time out for art, you know, but it's really beautifully integrated into the film as a whole. It actually starts that way, which I think helps set a more internal mood for the whole film. But these moments when time overlaps really serve to highlight and communicate the feeling of how Ruby's life is suspended. And I just love in this film the combination of sort of quiet, real, spare character study, and then these beautiful, artful touches that feed the narrative and the character approach, which is why it's amazing that they made this movie for $500,000. Ava DuVernay has said that when she was writing the script, she was envisioning the budget being around $2.5 billion, which is still very much an independent film, but a lot more than 500,000. And I don't know when or why she decided, okay, we're just going for it with $500,000, but I'm so glad she did, because she went back in and adjusted the script. She said the story didn't change that much, but the scope of the film changed. So locations had to be shifted, or how many background actors they could use had to be shifted, things like that. But what they pulled off for that budget is so cohesive and beautiful, and really an inspiration on every level. I mean, just as a film itself, it's beautiful and inspiring and brave, but then to pull it off for that much money makes it even more inspiring and brave. So it's a gorgeous movie. Please watch it. Much more to say. Ava DuVernay was the first Black woman to win Best Director at Sundance Film Festival for this film, and it was nominated for a bunch of other independent critics awards. It won the John Cassavetes Award at the Independent Spirit Awards. And obviously Ava DuVernay has gone on to make much bigger budget films. She's made Selma, A Wrinkle in Time, the limited series When They See Us on Netflix. She's also devoted a lot of time and energy to creating opportunity and space for other marginalized people to realize their vision and get work in Hollywood. She's doing the good work on so many levels, and I'm so grateful. Bradford Young, the cinematographer, made Selma and When They See Us with Ava DuVernay, and has also worked with a lot of other directors. Emmayatzy Corinealdi, the star, this was her first lead role in a feature film, and she won the Gotham Awards Breakout Performance of the Year award, and she's been in lots of other television and film, including Miles Ahead with Don Cheadle and The Roots, so plenty of places to check her out. David Oyelowo was already kind of a rising star when he appeared in this film, but has gone on to star in Selma with Ava Duvernay as Martin Luther King Jr. and made Red Tails and was in Lee Daniels the Butler and United Kingdom and lots of other great work. Last year he was in The Midnight Sky, directed by George Clooney, which I really loved. So lots of places to check him out. But this movie is a lovely place where so much talent and intelligence and heart came together. And I hope you watch it and I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know in the comments what you think about it, and I will see you next Wednesday. Thanks for watching Real Takes. Hit the subscribe button below so the algorithms will tell you when new episodes are out. And if you want to support Real Takes, please visit my Patreon page where you can join at any tier from $2 to $100 per thing I make. The $15 tier is specifically about supporting Real Takes, and you'll get behind the scenes information and be thanked in future videos. See you next Wednesday.